Dear Hollywood, in regards to franchises. Dear Hollywood, I have noticed that in recent history, especially within the last few years, you have picked up franchises just for the name recognition, but then do not respect the franchise that you purchase. For some reason, you want the name for the built-in fan base, but then decide that you actually don't want that particular franchise, you just want those fans. Sometimes you do try to go your own way with the franchise and say you don't want the fans, but then when the fans reject your own way, you complain about them, or you say how it's horrible that the film failed or your project failed, if it is not a film, but other projects that you currently work on fail because how dare they not like this that we took and destroyed. But then when you do try to keep within the franchise that you do buy and you end up ruining it or altering it beyond original recognition, you decide that, it must be because they have some kind of cis at the end of their name, or they don't like a particular sex or gender. To start, let's go with the producer to see. Sorry, scratch that. There's going to be some white out. Please see the producer of Marvel to clarify that they thought that Disney purchased the franchise of X-Men from Fox, as well as all of Fox for this particular franchise, as well as others, quotation mark, avatars, comma, Planet of the Apes, comma, what else does Fox have that they want? Fantastic Four, comma, the original Star Wars movie, comma, and exclamation point. But they say that the word X-Men, the title of the franchise, and the only reason the film is the current film, Dark Phoenix, is doing well overseas is because of the name recognition of X-Men. In America, you got rid of the term X-Men from the name, but overseas it is still called X-Men ... Dark Phoenix. Period. But she says that the name X-Men is outdated because there are a lot of women characters, and if she had seen anything of X-Men, i.e. comics, comma, video game, comma, cartoons, comma, previous 19 years worth of film, comma, etc., period. She would realize that, just as in the term mankind, X-Men means humans with the X gene in them, or the mutant gene in them. But when you try to rebrand the X-Men in a few years when they join the MCU, as calling them mutants or X-people or whatever the other garbage you try to spill, and it fails, please remember that I wrote you this letter and know that it was your fault, not ours. I'm running out of paper here. Get another sheet. To move on to other examples of how you don't respect the franchises that you purchase or hand over to new creative teams. Put creative teams in quotation marks. Men in Black International. The new film that just came out, Men in Black International, no box office had been related to it at the time of this writing. I'll add the date in later. But within the film, they mentioned that, why is it called Men in Black? Women work for it. When you go all the way back to the original scratch that out. whiteout, to the original Men in Black film. At the end of it, Agent L joins the team, a woman. And also, inside the Men in Black base of operations, you see that there are lots of women in there. Once again, they use men as in mankind. This was all the way back to the original Marvel comics where the Men in Black killed people who saw aliens instead of neuralizing them. Period. Fun fact, the neuralizer was made so that the movies could be family friendly. Period. The X-Men, white out. Once again, men is used as a general term. But now they want to change the name because, there's a woman running the American base of Men in Black, and now one of the main characters is a female. The female, Agent L, would still have been in Men in Black too, but the actress declined to come back, and they did not want to bother recasting her, instead making J not want to move on from K, period. But as seen from the cartoon of Men in Black, L stuck around for a few years, even though she did not appear in Men in Black 2, period. Now, I mentioned earlier in the letter that some franchises try to go their own way and tell audiences, well, we didn't like what came before, we're just going to make our own stories set on this basic idea. And it still failed. This was Ghostbusters, 2016, also known as Ghostbusters Answer the Call, period. Fans of the franchise were initially happy about the new movie and were going to give it a chance, period. See Geeks and Gamers episodes about Jeremy saying how he was excited for the film. He liked Paul Feig's other movies, and he liked Melissa McCarthy. But when they started attacking the fans, he stopped having interest in watching the movie, period. Then, when you released a trailer, which looked awful, if we're being honest, this comes from a person who actually defended the Captain Marvel Her-O trailers, period. Then you try to complain that nobody went and saw the film, period. Then, when it gets released on home media, you show an even worse, longer copy of the film with the extended cut, which makes the film unwatchable, period. Instead of taking from the past and trying to use it towards the future, you took the name, The Job, and then threw the rest away, period. You could have easily done it properly. I.e., that is why there are so many procedural cops shows and firefighter shows and doctor shows. They are not all the same doctor, officer, or firefighter. They are different people, different towns, different countries, period. You take The Job, you take the setting of The Job, i.e. ghost hunting, and you try to make it work, and you just write a story around it. Ghostbusters 2016 was missing the horror comedy element, where it was always a joke. Nothing was made to be taken seriously. To go overseas, or across the pond, as some like to say, Doctor Who decided that it would also try to follow this trend, with people even writing into other TV shows of your productions, saying how, well, now that it's a woman, I have to watch it. Period. It should have never been, oh, she's a woman now. It should have just been, oh, it's the new Doctor. It happens to be a woman. Her gender should not have been a part of her character, period. Now, I cannot personally talk about this because I stopped watching Doctor Who shortly after the 50th anniversary special. But I have acquaintances and friends who were avid Doctor Who lovers, including some who work on fan projects of Doctor Who, that did not like the last season. They defended almost every episode, saying how, oh, I did not like this, 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 but I did like this, period. And the bad outweighed the good. Even your own media turned against you once the season was over, period. I.e., please see Clownfish TV videos focusing on Doctor Who, period. Now, where was I? Yes. Another one that I've noticed is Star Wars. You purchased the franchise and wanted to use the ships, the names, the weapons, but not the characters, period. This could have been done by just saying that the series or your current movies were in the future after the characters people knew and loved were dead, and your new characters were related somehow to the originals, period. For examples, see how the prequels were at Whiteout. For example, see how the prequels had characters you knew, as well as characters who were connected to the originals, period. I.e., Anakin and Padme were related to Luke and Leia, being their parents, period. But you went ahead and killed all the original characters, or disrespected them, and then had a hissy fit when the customers, aka fan base, got angry with you and called you out for it, period. P.S. Also see that CBS gets this same message regarding franchises and making your new characters. I know they did not always have Star Trek, that Paramount had it, but with these both being stars, this idea should work for them as well, period. I see that they already are trying this method with the third season of STD, Star Trek Discovery, Not the Disease, but they should have started that way and had the series be so far in the future that had nothing to do with the original series, and they could have had some kind of callback saying how their Burnham character was some great ancestor of Spock, period. I noticed that Marvel is trying to go down a route which might get the same results with their new films, focusing more on their all-female cast instead of a mix of the two. This may work if the writing is done properly, but as seen in Endgame, a lot of people remember the, quote, A-Force, unquote, scene, but that is because how cringy it seemed, period. It seemed out of place, because why would all the females be in the same section of a massive planet battle instead of being, with their counterparts or in other areas? Some of them are their strongest fighters, so why would they all come up together just for a, quote, girl power, unquote, scene, which is only for the audience, not for writing, period. People notice this. We are not small children, and even then, some children would even notice. In the words of George Takei, way to kill the franchise. Please do not continue to do this in the future, period. I know writing you may white out. I know writing you may seem pointless, but maybe it will get to one of you and make you see the errors of your ways. Sincerely yours, a customer. P.S. Have a good one.